Snake Eyes is the new entry in the G.I. Joe franchise. Was directed by Robert Schwentke based on a screenplay by Evan, wait for it, Spiliotopoulos, Anna Waterhouse with Joe Shrapnel, and tells the origin story of everybody's favorite nonverbal ninja. So, if you're in my age group and you happen to own a penis, you probably loved G.I. Joe as a kid. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Snake Eyes was basically just as much your boy as he was mine. So, of course, you know, the idea of a Snake Eyes solo film probably got your testosterone pumping because, dude, it's freaking Snake Eyes. So when the film finally arrived, I would imagine there was probably a lot of anticipation on a lot of men in my age range or younger. But, did it live up to the hype? Not really. So, there was a lot going for this movie for me. As a fan of Asian cinema, this American-made movie really, it kind of like hit all of the marks for me. It's a kung fu flick, it's a Yakuza film, it's a familial revenge story, and there's plenty of action to be had for sure. But I'll just be damned if this movie wasn't one of the most boring, confusing things I've seen in a good long while. So we kick things off with Snake Eyes, played by the star of Crazy Rich Asians, Henry Golding, as a child witnessing the murder of his father and then kind of growing up to be a cage fighter like Rambo First Blood Part 2 style. And he's obsessed with finding the man who did this and kind of putting it into a story. In short order, he's recruited into the Yakuza by a friend, rapidly finds himself at odds with the crime family when they ask him to kill his friend, and, you know, plot spoiler, he doesn't do it. After their escape, his friend takes him to Japan to train to become a member of his ninja snake clan, and thus begins the story of the angry boy who becomes a man through training in the mystical arts of kung fu or whatever. The catch, well, I don't want to give too much away here, but suffice it to say, Snake Eyes is kind of a dick in this movie, and he pretty much fails at like everything he does in his training. He also talks a lot, but hey, it's an origin film, so you know, I guess he's going to talk a little bit, but there's no specific moment in the movie where he learns to just shut the fuck up. I mean, ninjas are supposed to be quiet, you know what I'm saying? But then again, overall he doesn't really ninja very well, so I guess it really doesn't matter. So his buddy is part of a snake ninja clan who was masquerading with the Yakuza as something of a double agent, as it's revealed in a brief scene that his clan is affiliated with, or at the very least friendly with G.I. Joe, which seemingly has nothing to do with the story nor explain why he was doing the double agent thing with the Yakuza anyway. But it kind of sort of apparently has something to do with his Snake Ninja clan maintaining order and balance in Japan, which is kind of a pretty vague motivation, but based on how powerful the Yakuza is, I would say that they aren't doing a very good job on that whole order and balance thing. And the Baroness shows up, played by the smoking hot Ursula Corbero, easily the best thing in this film, and apparently she's affiliated with the Yakuza, and, you know, this guy's Snake Ninja clan friend, well, he's Storm Shadow. And, you know, Storm Shadow then decides to turn against him because he failed a test for the Snake Ninja clan and stole a diamond on behalf of the Yakuza, who originally wanted to kill him in exchange for the Jesus Christ, my head hurts. Okay, so this movie is just really messy in the storytelling. It's very convoluted. Nobody is who they seem to be, except for the Baroness. I mean, she's pretty much the Baroness through the whole film. I mean, except for the part where she changes sides and suddenly she's buddies with Scarlet from G.I. Joe, who is in this movie for some reason, and I don't know why other than because she's hunting the Baroness, and now they're friends. But then they're not. These hoes are confusing. Chicks, am I right? But you've got multiple plot threads that never really go anywhere, and then one plot thread that just hardly constitutes anything to build a movie on, which is why probably it really only accounts for about 20 minutes of the actual screen time, and actually, weirdly enough, seems to be the main plot point in the film. And you know, and I get that everybody has a past, but Snake Eyes is really kind of a prick in this movie. Like, he just kind of screws over his friends. Even that one nice lady that saved his life in that pit of giant snakes. Yes, I said a pit of giant, dragon-sized snakes. That is a thing that happens in this film. But to be fair, as absurd as the pit of giant, dragon-sized snakes is, I will say that it's very well shot, with a great deal of tension and a lot of build-up, and that it ultimately fizzles and the whole scene just kind of becomes anticlimactic and pointless. Which is ultimately a great way to kind of look at this movie. It looks great, the actors are amazing, the action sequences are all very well choreographed, but it's just all anticlimactic and pointless. Moreover, the movie just drags on whenever there isn't any action going on, with literally the definition of like pointless exposition sprinkled with bits of mystical kung fu mumbo-jumbo, which, for the record, in case you didn't pick up on it earlier, it never seems to sink in, and by the end of the film, Snake Eyes is, well, Snake Eyes, and now he's hunting Storm Shadow. I mean, except for the part that he literally failed in his snake ninja training, I dare say it makes perfect sense that, he'd go hunting a snake ninja master guy. This movie is just stupid. Ultimately, Snake Eyes is just poorly written. It's a convoluted mess of a film that does no justice at all to the title character, and while it looks good and everybody does a great job in their performances, there really isn't anything about it that would lend itself to any kind of positive recommendation. As such, Snake Eyes is dead on arrival. And that brings us to the conclusion of this episode of The Cinephiles. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video, and until next time, peace.